So chat, a little bit of context as to what's going on with Black Beacon. About a week and a half ago, the game launched in China. We, who have had issues with our global version of the game, and China, who had issues, the same issues that we had for a single day, received different compensation. We got like 20 or 30 standard pulls. China got 20 limited pulls, a 10 standard pulls, and a 5-star selector. Global players were furious because they believed that we should have been given the same rewards, the same compensation. I agreed. I fully supported this. I covered this. And then they went complete radio silent. Now, it turns out that the reason they went radio silent was because there was a Chinese holiday going on. But imagine launching your game in China, giving them a bunch of shit you know global wants, and then being like, okay, we're out for the week, peace out, and then just leaving. That upset a lot of people and tanked Black Beacon's rating down from what was 4.4 or 4.6 stars to 1.5 as of a few days ago. And they issued an apology that has since restored some faith from a percentage of players, helping re-raise the rating from 1.5 to 2.6, which is a great step in the right direction. They did go an entire week not replying. They made a public event on Discord. They were constantly advertising new characters, new purchases and everything for the game while not addressing the issue at hand. Until they did. And that was here. They acknowledged that players are upset. They stated that your voices have been heard and we have taken your feedback seriously. They noted that, and I covered this in a dedicated video I posted like 2 days ago, that they were going to give players what China received in the form of limited pulls and the free 5-star character selector. So that was great. They also said that they're going to work with the Chinese publisher and the developer both, so the three units together can make sure to keep everything aligned and unified, all the rewards across the board, so China does not get preferential treatment, because that was the main issue. Players believed that they were showing severe favoritism, and they were. After this, the very next day, they made another tweet, and this is something we have not covered yet. We are truly grateful for the responses and feedback following our recent announcement. And that's true because the rating has gone up quite a bit. So evidently a decent amount of players have changed their rating and are happy with the outcome. Your support and encouragement mean a great deal to our team. We'd like to also address one of the concerns raised by some players regarding the current lack of emulator support. And this was a major topic of contention. The reason was because emulators were banned for global. They decided they were going to ban LD player, Mumu player, BlueStacks, preventing anyone from playing on anything other than the Google Play beta, which is honestly not a very good client. China, however, from what I heard and what I read, didn't have this restriction imposed, which means that Chinese players could essentially play the game on emulators without issue. We understand that this has caused inconvenience for those who prefer to rely on emulators to enjoy Black Beacon. Ahead of the global launch, we carefully reviewed the possibility of supporting emulator use. However, due to overall stability concerns, we determined that it would be difficult to support emulators at launch, which honestly is very confusing to me because most gacha games release and are fully emulatable, I think is the word, as well. The mobile games that release onto mobile platforms aren't designed with emulator support in mind, yet the majority of them either at launch or over time become functional. So it's surprising to me that they decided to ban emulator usage just because they didn't want to focus on making it emulator friendly. Make a PC client? I know, I really need one, for real. Yeah, 100%. We've made steady progress on overall system stability through recent development updates. As a result, we're currently working with the development team to support emulator compatibility. Damn it, dude, all you need to do is make a PC client. This game would explode in popularity. Emulator support is expected to become available within 1 week. If there are any changes to this timeline due to ongoing development, we'll inform you through a separate announcement. That's better. Honestly, that's a lot better than what we saw, than what we had. But at the same time, with all the bugs and everything and the issues that Black Beacon has had, I'm not entirely sure that the whole 1 week deadline thing is necessarily going to play out how they expect. I'd love to be proven wrong, and I would love for them to actually succeed here because they need a win. Before we go any further, I do want to take a moment here to thank all of my incredible patrons over on Patreon and my YouTube channel members who allow for me to continue to do dedicated videos like this every single day. You guys are absolutely phenomenal, and I genuinely cannot thank you all enough for the support. That still has a high rating anyways, at least in my Play Store. Such a shame having this game in your hands and just taking all the wrong decisions. At the very least, they're trying to make amends. It's more than you can say about Infinity Nikki, which once again, chat, is at 1.4 stars. Black Beacon, they managed to recover from 1.5 to 2.6. Infinity Nikki managed to drop from 4.4 to 1.4. So, at the very least, Black Beacon is trying. They're trying. They might make some mistakes along the way, but they are giving it their best 1-2, chat. We're sharing this information early in line with our recent commitment to communicate more proactively with our players. As always, we sincerely appreciate your patience and understanding, and we remain committed to providing a smoother and more accessible experience for all seers, the Black Beacon team. Now, I'm curious though, chat. I'd love for your input here too. How long do you think this will last? Genuine question. I know they're remaining communicative with their players because of the mass hysteria and negativity surrounding the compensation for Chinese players and favoritism, but do you think they're going to continue to keep this up, or do you think this is just temporary until they've established like a renewed trust from the community and they just go silent again and fuck stuff up? I mean, it's a thought. Probably one of the craziest downfalls. I know, right? Double Gacha is to get money. True. 1 to 2 months and secret codes for China will happen. They did promise that we will have a unified reward system in place and China will never receive rewards that Global doesn't receive. So I'm hoping that is true and honest. You're worried it might be temporary. That's what I'm worrying too. Keep going this direction, they might recover. I don't think they'll ever recover to what they were or could have been. I think it's too late. Once revenue is low, they're just gonna left at EOS. I mean, true, a lot of people refunded and actually lost accounts. And I mean, you know what? That's fine. If you're gonna refund your purchases, then you deserve to lose your account. But at the same time, like, there's no coming back after that.
Several days later.
Since that announcement 3 days ago, 4 days ago, whatever, players have been trying to log in to little to no success until apparently today, 2 hours ago, right there. LD player now works with Black Beacon. When attempting to run the game, it advises an update for LD player. Once installed, appears to work and so far can use all the settings within LD player, resolution, DPI changes, etc. That's great. It's about time. Honestly, a lot more people would play Black Beacon if they could play it on an emulator. But let's be honest here, most people will play Black Beacon if it were playable on PC, because this is a full action game, and action games are a lot better on PC. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, you have. And I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you are not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.